Welcome back to Open Line. We are talking tonight about the effort to end domestic and sexual violence. Certainly an important topic, and helping us go through all of there is to talk about that is Kathy Walsh. Just a reminder, if you have questions for Kathy, that number is on your screen, 615-737-7587, or as it spells out as plus. Kathy, we talked about before the break about how COVID-19 has impacted the severity of a lot of these issues, but I'm curious, how has COVID-19 impacted operations? I understand a lot of the shelters are still available and resources that has not taken a backseat during COVID.
Right. The shelters and the rape crisis centers are open for business. So if anyone needs shelter, please, call the 800 hotline, and there are going to be people there to help you. Now, one of the ways that these nonprofits are being impacted is they haven't been able to do the types of fundraising that they normally do. And because so many people are out of work, the donations are really down to these programs. So if you are in a position, to volunteer your time, to donate to one of these life-saving programs, I encourage you to do that.
Absolutely. Someone may be watching us tonight and realize they may be one of the individuals you're talking about in these scenarios that maybe needs to seek assistance. Give people an idea. What are the resources available to them if they do need to seek help?
Well, we have an 800 hotline in Tennessee, and we have a national 800 hotline. So I encourage people to call that hotline. They can find the number of the nearest program in their community. Also on our website, tncoalition.org. There is a list of all the programs in the state and which counties that they cover. And there's a lot of other great information on our website as well, with facts, figures. Also, this Be the Friend campaign, it has a site as well with lots of information on that site about dating violence. So we encourage people to reach out, get information, find somebody that you can talk to. I think that's one of the most important things that really helps, is having a friend, a family member, a trusted adult that you can talk with. And then if you need to take that next step of calling a program, I encourage you to do that as well.
It seems like a big part of this effort, and naturally so, is getting the word out. And you've mentioned the PSA campaign. Why is it so critical to the mission that people know about this campaign and know about how they can learn more?
Well, I think, first of all, you want to raise awareness, because a lot of times when people are in these situations, they feel like they're all alone. And so if you put a campaign out there and you talk about these numbers, and people can see that I'm not alone, it happens to other people. So raising that awareness, educating people about the issue, giving them tools to be able to address dating violence. That's what this Be the Friend campaign is all about.
Absolutely. I understand we actually have a caller, Heather, that has a comment or question for us. So let's go ahead and get her on the line. Heather, what's your question?
So I have a question about a mural that a friend of mine told me about that's in Colombia, and I was wondering if I could learn more about what's the intent, or what's the purpose, and what's it look like, and are they going to be doing more of them?
Kathy, I'm sure you are excited about that question. I'll give it straight to you.
I am. So the next part of this campaign is we are going to begin putting up murals in different communities with a picture about the campaign and the hashtag on it, because what we really want to do is to encourage teens to go and take their picture in front of the mural, post their pictures in the hashtag, because that is another way to get this message out. So our first one went up in Colombia last week with the Center of Hope. And we actually had an American Idol contestant this year, Cassandra Coleman from Colombia, and she came out and sang at the event, and it was just wonderful. We probably had over 100 people who showed up for this unveiling event. Our next mural is going to be put up at Austin Peay University, and so that one's in the works. We have a couple of other ones in other parts of the state that we're working on as well. And wouldn't it be great if we could, as part of this campaign, encourage people to travel around, take their pictures in front of this mural, and post it on their social media?
What an awesome idea, because I feel like murals have become kind of a very popular way to, well, you mentioned it's become tourist destinations around town, but this is a mural with a message. I'm curious, how did that idea come about?
Well, we have this incredible team of folks that we're working with. Dan McDonald Communications and his team of talented folks who came up with the PSAs. They had this idea about doing murals, and so we just jumped on it right away, and it has it's just made this campaign explode.
Absolutely. So if somebody wants to go to Columbia and take their picture with the mural, where is it located there in Columbia?
Well, it's on 7th Street, but if you guys are familiar with the American Pickers, it is a venue there and a TV show, and it's right across the street from the American Pickers. So I hear that they have thousands of people who go to that location every year as tourists, and so I think other people are going to be seeing it when they go there. So we're looking for sites, in downtown areas of communities, high traffic areas. We're keeping our fingers crossed that we're going to come up with a great building in Nashville. So all the viewers out there, if you've got a great building in a location with a lot of traffic that you would like to have one of these fabulous murals on your wall, I hope that you'll contact the coalition. And Chris, I think you actually have a picture of the mural maybe that you can show tonight. That would be great.
We did. We showed just a minute ago video of the official unveiling of the Columbia mural,
wonderful.
and so I'm curious, kind of in follow up to that, and you mentioned that another one's going to be installed at Austin Peay State University in Clarksville. So is this going to be the same design in each place, or will there be some unique designs for each mural location?
We're still working that out. I think that, we have this design. We may do other designs. It depends on how big this campaign gets. But I want to talk about Austin Peay for just a moment, because we have been working with Austin Peay on a bystander intervention campaign on their campus. And so they train peer educators to how to go out and talk with other students on campus and what to do to intervene. So they're really a model program or college in Tennessee. So we're very proud of them. We've just started a partnership as well with University of the South in Swanee. And so we're going to be doing some work on that campus as well.
And I'm sure you can talk about here, Kathy, I'm sure college campuses is another one of those zones that the Tennessee Coalition probably has a lot of interest in, because that obviously is a place where a lot of these circumstances can take place, right? Absolutely, because you have a lot of students. This is the first time they've ever lived away from home. They're extremely isolated. They may not know people at the college when they first moved there. I remember my college days feeling pretty isolated and alone. So working with universities so that during orientation, they're doing training around the issue of domestic and sexual violence. And they've got peer educators on campus that can go out and talk about this issue with other students on campus. I think that has the potential to have a great impact. Also, we, the coalition, other coalitions around the country, have been doing a lot of work with sports teams and coaches. So training athletes about domestic and sexual violence and bystander intervention. And we're really beginning to see a change in behavior with young men on campus in a very short period of time because of some of these campaigns. Absolutely. I know another big part of the Be the Friend campaign is PSAs. And I understand we do have one of the PSAs we can show you. And while we get that ready, I was hoping you might be able to kind of set us up of what these entail and what message you hope people get out of them.
Well, again, the message is we want people to know they're not alone. We want them to maybe recognize some of this behavior in the PSAs and understand that, oh, maybe I am in a controlling or abusive situation. And we also want to model what does a good friend do if they see a friend of theirs in this situation, or if they might see, somebody acting inappropriately.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and watch that now. One thing I couldn't help but notice as one of the signs in that, Kathy, is be someone who listens. That has to play such an important role in being a good friend. Talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely. You want to be a friend that listens. You want to be a friend that supports. You want to be a friend that believes. Because in our culture, sometimes we have a tendency to really blame victims. And say, well, what did you do that caused that? Or maybe say, oh, he's a good guy, or she's a good girl. I can't imagine they would do that behavior. So I think it takes a lot of courage for somebody who's in one of those relationships to reach out to a friend. So what you can do as the friend is to listen, to be supportive, to believe, to know what those resources are, so that you'll be ready to help that friend when they do reach out to you.
We have certainly seen on the national level, with the Me Too movement, with certain high-profile situations of people finally speaking out and certainly feeling empowered and supported in many ways in doing so. Do you think that part of the conversation has helped some of what you all do at the Tennessee Coalition?
I absolutely think it has helped. The Me Too movement resulted in a lot of people speaking about violence that they had experienced that maybe they had never talked about before. But again, it was because other people were talking about it. They made it okay to talk about those experiences, because a lot of times if you're the victim in that situation, you have a lot of shame associated with it. Like, it's not supposed to happen to a girl like me. I'm too smart, or I should know better than that. And so there's a lot of shame. There's guilt, because often the perpetrator makes you feel like it's your fault. So there are reasons that people don't want to come forward. Maybe they're afraid they're going to lose their friend group. They're afraid people aren't going to believe them. Just lots of different reasons why they're hesitant to talk about it.
We will have much more of our conversation with Kathy on the other side of this break. Stay with us. You're watching Open Line.